Now the topic before us is understanding currency erosion, devaluation versus depreciation. First difference we will understand on the point of definition. In case of devaluation, it is the deliberate or official reduction in the value of a currency relative to other currencies by the government or central bank. What it means? We are living in India and approximately 83 Indian rupee are equal to 1 US dollar. If the government or the central bank of India decides to reduce the value of the Indian currency, then it is devaluation. Suppose it decides that from now onwards 90 Indian rupee will be equal to 1 US dollar, it is devaluation. This decrease in the value of Indian rupee vis-a-vis other foreign currencies by the government order or by the order of the central bank of the country is devaluation of the currency. Here, external forces such as demand and supply, etc., are not the reason for the reduction in the value of the currency. The value of a domestic currency has decreased only by government order. This is devaluation. Official order is there to reduce the value of a currency. On the other hand, if the value of a currency depreciates in comparison to other currencies by the forces of demand and supply, then it is depreciation of the currency, where the market forces of demand and supply come into picture and the value of a currency decreases, it is depreciation. Exchange rate system. Devaluation occurs under a fixed exchange rate system. Fixed exchange rate system means where exchange rates are predetermined and the government intervenes to maintain that rate. We take the example, suppose if the government of a country decides, suppose a European Union, we are taking the example simply, that if European Union decides that 1 euro should be equal to 1 US dollar and it should remain somewhat as it is, and to maintain that balance it will be taking steps that the one value of 1 euro remains equal to 1 US dollars. So this is the fixed exchange rate system. So typically occurs, and this devaluation occurs under a fixed exchange rate system where the exchange rates are predetermined and the government intervenes to maintain that rate. Suppose if the value of euro increases and the European Union is following fixed exchange rate system, suppose here 0.9 euro becomes equal to 1 US dollar, the government of the country may reduce the value of its currency to ensure that it again becomes equal to 1 euro is equal to 1 US dollar. Then depreciation. Depreciation of the currency occurs under a floating exchange rate system. When the demand of the currency falls, when the demand of anything in the market decreases, what happens? The price of that goods decreases. In the same way, in the foreign exchange market, when the demand of a currency decreases, the price of that currency also decreases. So this is the depreciation, and it occurs under a floating exchange rate system. Now, what is the cause of devaluation? The cause of devaluation may be government policy decision. The government of the country may have decided that it wants to make exports cheaper and imports more expensive, so that it may improve the trade balance. On the other hand, depreciation of the currency may be caused by the change in supply and demand of the currency, domestic currency. There may be negative outlook, economic outlook of the country, economic performance of the country is not good. There is political instability in the country, and the speculative investors also believe that the value of the currency is likely to depreciate in the near future, so they will offload their domestic currency, so it will result into the depreciation of the currency. Speed. Devaluation is a one-time exercise. The government may have decided that it wants to reduce 10% reduction in the value of the currency. It is a one-time decision. The government of the country may decide any percentage, 1%, 2%, 3%. And this is a one-time devaluation of the currency, one-time reduction in the value of the currency. This action has immediate impact. If suppose at present 80 Indian rupee are equal to 1 US dollar, and if the government of India decides that it wants to devalue its currency by 10%, then what will happen? Immediately 88 Indian rupee will become equal to 1 US dollar. Impact is immediate on the exchange rate. However, in the case of currency depreciation, the depreciation of the currency can be gradual or rapid depending on the underlying market forces. The impact of depreciation might not be as dramatic and immediate as the government driven devaluation. It means that in the case of devaluation, there was immediate reduction in the value of the currency. That is, if the government decides at this point, there will be immediate reduction in the value of the currency. But in the case of depreciation, the value of the currency depreciates slowly and slowly, or it may be rapid, but not as fast as happens in the case of devaluation of the currency, because in case of devaluation, it is by government order and it has immediate impact in the foreign exchange market. Now, appreciation of value. In the case of devaluation, it is possible for the government to raise the value of the currency after it has been devalued. It means that today the government decided to devalue its currency. Now, after some months, it decides to raise the value of its currency. It may do so. It may raise the value of the currency, but it is a very complex and challenging process to raise the value of the currency once it has been devalued. That is, if today 80 Indian rupee are equal to 1 US dollar and there was 10% reduction and 88 Indian rupee was equal to 1 US dollars. But after some months, the government decides to reinstate that original position. It wants to increase the value to 80 Indian rupee equal to 1 US dollar. It may not be as simple. The value of it is not possible to increase the value of the currency in one shot. The devalue is simple. To increase the value is not as simple. It is a challenging process. In the case of depreciation, once the currency has depreciated, it is possible that it may appreciate, but this is not a guarantee. If there is political instability in the country, the foreigners are not interested to make investment in the country, then what will happen? There will be no demand of the domestic currency in the foreign exchange market. However, if the demand of the currency increases, the outlook of the country improves, economic performance improves, the investors think that it will be worthwhile to make investment in the country, the demand of the domestic currency will increase and the value of the domestic currency will increase. Next is control. In the case of devaluation, government has direct control over the timing. It may decide that it will devalue its currency tomorrow or next week or on a particular date. The government decides what is the timing of devaluation and what is the extent of devaluation, whether it wants 1% reduction, 2%, 3%, the government decides. Timing and percentage of extent of reduction in the value of the currency, government decides. But in the case of depreciation, it is the demand and supply in the foreign exchange market which decides the depreciation. For a larger market forces mostly dictate the pace and extent of depreciation. That is, the demand and supply mostly decides what will be the depreciation, whether it will be fast, gradual, or what will be the extent of reduction in the value of the currency. With the government having limited direct intervention, that is, in case of depreciation of currency, the government has very little intervention, direct intervention. Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.